Okay guys, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to grab our onion. Now I do have an onion chopper, but honestly it's not going to take long to just chop this up by hand. So you can chop your onion up as fine or as coarse as you would like to. So if you want larger pieces in your loose burger or your loose meat sandwich, you can do that. Or if you want smaller pieces, you can do that as well. Okay, just make sure of course that you're careful with the knife. Okay, so I have some pieces in here that are a little larger than some of the other ones, which is fine. It's mine. I'm preparing enough to make about 4 sandwiches or so. The good news with this is that you can make it ahead. So if it's just you can always cook it and then freeze it. Maybe you want to freeze it in individual portions, and that way you can freeze it, pull it out when you're ready to eat it, and then go for what you know. The other thing that you could do is you can have these take them for your lunch or whatever. So we've cut up our onion. We're going to put that to the side. We're going to grab our skillet. Now I told you guys that I dropped my skillet, and so that's why, and it's huge, so it's probably out of the frame, but anyway, it's bent right here on the side a little bit. Okay, not a big deal. Okay, so what we're gonna do is I've got a pound of ground beef here. Now you can use ground beef, ground chuck, ground sirloin, ground chicken, whatever you want to use. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna brown this. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is we've got some water, and as always, I'm going to make sure that I leave the measurements on the screen for you guys, okay? We just throw our water in there. We have got some mustard. So, I'm using Heinz yellow mustard. You don't have to use that. We're going to use about a tablespoon of that and just throw it right in, okay? Excuse me. The next thing that we're going to do, I have some sugar. This is just regular granulated sugar. Just throw that in. I've got salt and pepper. I'll throw that in. And the next thing that I have is, this is optional. You don't have to put this in, but I just put it in for a little bit extra flavor. So I've got some Heinz Worcestershire sauce, and I've also got Great Value. Believe it or not, I like the Great Value one better, but you can choose and use whatever you have. You might be a Lynn Parents type of person, so use what you have. And this is new, so it's difficult to open. Okay, so we're going to take this over to the stove. And make sure you mix it in. Of course, once it starts to cook and some of that fat kind of starts to cook off, you'll be able to mix in your ingredients more, so don't worry about that. Okay, so we're over at the stove and the meat is starting to cook. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw in my diced onions. I'm trying to do this with one hand. And just mix that in, guys, and let that onion cook along with the meat. Now, if you want, you don't have to season it from the beginning like I did, but that's what I do. That's what I like to do. So, I am going to just let this cook, and I will be back and show you the progress. Okay, so this has been cooking on medium heat, medium high heat for about 3 minutes. Woo, I couldn't. However, want to make sure that you guys know, you know how you ever go to somebody's house and they have a bunch of big chunks of ground beef. Maybe they've prepared spaghetti or something like that, and that's okay in spaghetti. But if you're cooking something like this, you want to make sure that the seasoning gets down in there really well. So with maybe a spaghetti sauce or something like that, it's going to be simmering in that sauce, and so you don't have really an issue with the seasoning getting down into those chunks. But for this, you want to just make sure that you break it up real good and have it kind of like a crumble. if you will. It's like, for example, let me make sure you understand what I mean. Okay, so for example, this right here needs to be broken down more. Okay, makes sense? Okay, so now guys, the next thing, we're going to continue to let this cook until it's brown. Now, you have a decision to make. If you want to keep the fluid and oil on here without draining it, you can do that. That's more like the original one, the Maid-Rite sandwich. Now, I drain it off. It's just a little too messy and too much oil for me. So this is what it looks like when it's all brown. Guys, I'm telling you, this meal takes about 10 minutes, and you guys are ready to eat. And what it is, it's a burger that's not been patted out, basically, but it's got a nice flavor to it. So it's more than just a hamburger. So what we're going to do, like I said, we're going to drain this oil off, and I'm going to meet you guys back at the chopping board for the next and final steps. Okay, guys, so we have drained our meat. Now, there's still some moisture in there. I didn't go crazy draining it, but there's not a lot at the bottom. If you can see, like right near the top, maybe you can see when I press it. Maybe not, but anywho, there's still, it's not dry. Is whatever you like on your, just a hamburger, regular burger, is what you're gonna put on here. So I've got some lettuce. Now, normally I use romaine lettuce for my hamburger, but they didn't have any. They only had Roma tomatoes. So put some tomatoes on that thing. So I've got some tomatoes that I'm gonna put here. Now, we cooked it with onion, but I like, for me, there is nothing like a burger with red onion. Woo! So I'm going to put just a little bit of red onion on there. Red onion has a kick to it. So now listen, guys, when you cook with this, if you have red onion, so I cooked it with yellow onion, but if you don't have yellow onion, you have red onion, then use what you have, okay? Please don't feel like you have to go out and buy a white onion. You don't have to, okay? White or yellow onion. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my bun, okay? Now, whatever you like to put on, if you like to put jalapenos, banana pepper, whatever you wanna put on your hamburger, or your loose burger, whatever you normally put on your hamburger, just your regular hamburger, is what you're gonna put on your loose burger, okay? I've got some mayo. I'm gonna put that on there. I've got some mustard. I'm gonna put that on. I've got some ketchup. Now, guys, the thing with me, I always say use what you have. However, Heinz tomato ketchup, that is my jam. Please don't bring me Great Value ketchup. Don't bring me Hunt's ketchup. I don't care who it is. If it's not Heinz, I don't want it. Okay? And then I've got just some pickle slices. Okay? All right, so let's assemble this bad boy. I'm going to put a little bit of mustard, or whatever amount of mustard you like on your sandwich is what you're going to use. Okay, we're going to spread it in. Comment down below if you can feel my pain with ketchup that's not Heinz ketchup. Do you have something that you only will use a certain brand with? And believe me, I am all about saving money, but not when it comes to my ketchup. Oop! Got a little bit of vinegar coming out. Make sure you shake it. I think that's vinegar. Yeah, that is vinegar. I have to look at it. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and put our meat on there. And it's supposed to be messy. Now, actually, probably a better plan is to go ahead and grab your plate. I've already got a few chips on here. Throw your meat on there. And yes, it's going to be messy. And yes, it's going to fall off. But isn't that the fun of cooking? Okay, so let's throw some lettuce on there. Okay. Put some tomato on there. Now you don't have to feel like you need to put it in the order that I put it in. That's just what I'm doing. I don't typically use any type of order. I don't care if the mustard's on the bottom or the top. It just happens to be on the top. All right. So guys, that is it. Isn't that pretty? All right. The moment we've been waiting for. Let's give it a try. Look at that, guys. That's so yummy. Come on, loose burger. Loose meat sandwich. My mouth is full. Guys, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next recipe video.